friends, welcome back to my channel. How are you all? I hope you are doing well, staying healthy, enjoying life, and must be planning to improve your life. Here we are to do so. Here, daily we read a chapter of a novel to develop reading habit to improve our English, including reading, writing, speaking, vocabulary, at the same time enhancing our knowledge. As we know, reading is the best practice to develop all these things, which help us in many ways. And reading could be one of the good hobby to make a change in ourselves. As we have heard from many prominent personalities that book change their life, add values, widen their knowledge, we can live other life by reading a book and get all those experience and learn from their mistake. So why to commit same mistake if we can learn from them and improve our life? So join me in this journey to become best version of ourselves. Before starting, I would love to hear your thought in comment section. Remember to like, share with your loved one to change their life as well, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Press the bell icon for daily updates. Today we are going to read part 19 of this chapter, which is Your Dreams Are Mine Now. It is written by Ravinder Singh. So let's read this and see that what happened after they made. And it was in the previous video we talked and we read that it was a new year's celebration when Arjun and Rupali met. And today we are going to see that after the reopening of the college after a vacation, summer vacation, what happened now and how their life begins. So let's see that what is new for us in this.
19. After the vacations, life at Dew began with a bang. Auto rickshaws kept up the buzz by bustling in and out of the hostel campus, similar to how the scene had been more than 2 weeks ago. While a few students had returned to the campus on the night of 1st January, a majority of them had chosen to come back the next morning. A few, for whom attending classes on the first day after a vacation was the last thing on their mind, took the liberty of arriving only late in the afternoon. Greetings and hugs were exchanged all day around the campus. Amidst a mass hostel room dusting exercise, loud noises and screams intermittently erupted from various floors of the hostel blocks. When it came to backslapping and joking around, the girls' hostel was no different from the boys'. Boxes of homemade sweets and other eatables were passed from room to room, from one hand to another, before they emptied up and made their way to the trash cans. But the best of the stuff was always locked in trunks to be savored later and only with best friends. After locking the door, that was the unsaid rule. Late in the evening, after the classes of the first day of the second semester got over, Rupali realized that everything had gone back to what it had been like before the vacation. From the day when the hostel had looked abandoned, with only a few girls left behind, to today, the difference was stark. Every window on every floor of her hostel was lit once again. Sounds of music erupted in various rooms and floated in the corridors. The hostel mess was full again. No one who had gone on vacation had missed the hostel food. But once in the mess, they began to miss their home cooked food. However, the best part of the day for Rupali was when Saloni knocked at her door. The moment Rupali opened the door, they celebrated their reunion with screams and hugs. It was Saloni who screamed louder. She continued to hold her roommate tightly, the two of them rocking in each other's arms like a swinging pendulum. When they both came to rest, Saloni slightly pushed her best friend back to look at her. Kaise hai tu? Mere Chan. How have you been, my darling? Rupali was extremely happy to finally get her roommate and best friend back. She had been waiting for her return since last evening. There was so much she had to share with her, for so much had happened in her life while Saloni was away. I'm fine. How was your trip? Rupali asked. Had Saloni not left the country and gone to Australia with her family for her vacations, she would have been up to date with Rupali's life. But then, had that happened, the two would not have looked forward to having a girly midnight gossip session. Oh, it was so much fun. I will tell you what I did. She smiled and winked. Saloni then looked around at their room. Unlike other girls in the hostel, she had been spared the task of dusting and arranging her stuff. Rupali had taken care of it. She was the one who had kept the room neat and tidy. They spent some time chit-chatting and randomly gossiping about things that were on top of Saloni's mind, after which Rupali suggested that she change her clothes so they could go and have their dinner. Saloni was not hungry at all, but she offered to give Rupali company. She opened her bag to pull out her t-shirt and pajamas. Here, this is for you, she said as she tossed a brown paper bag on Rupali's bed. What is it? Rupali asked as she tore open the packet. Check it out yourself. Saloni responded, busy trying to figure out where she had kept her own clothes inside her luggage. But there was no need to, Rupali said, guessing it was a gift for her. Hello, madam. Saloni shouted back. I didn't spend my money on you. Baap ke paisan se liya hai. This is all from my dad's money. So chill. Why do you treat your father like that? Rupali expressed concern and, as usual, Saloni didn't bother to answer her. She then turned her attention to the bag and began pulling out the clothes inside it. There was a navy blue sweatshirt, a bottle of perfume and two pairs of lingerie, one red and one black. Looking at the flimsy underwear, Rupali exclaimed in shock, How? How could you get me this? She was staring at the black lacy G-string. She felt shy even looking at it, so she immediately threw it back into the bag. Watching her reaction, Saloni burst out laughing. She walked up to her and said, Come on. Isn't it sexy? And pulled it out of the paper bag again. Why don't you try it on and show me? She asked as she brandished it in front of Rupali. I call it lack of cloth. Rupali said bluntly. Saloni burst into a laugh again. No, stupid, these are in fashion. The ones that I have got for you are not available in India. Ek tumhe tere liye leke aayi. Since I have got it especially for you, you will have to accept it. Rupali knew she was in trouble. Her roommate had not yet given up on her pledge to transform her into a modern Delhi girl. While she had been successful in moving her from salwar kameez to capris and sleeveless tops, and Rupali knew she wanted her to wear shorts, never in her wildest imagination had Rupali thought that her roommate would someday insist on what she should wear inside. But she also knew that Saloni would not listen to her. She didn't want to offend her friend, as it was a gift she had bought for her. So she agreed to wear the G-string but on one condition, that there was no way she was going to try it in front of her, something Saloni was so comfortable doing openly in their room. Rupali smiled. Okay, madam, you win. Now let's go for dinner or I'll go off to sleep. Post dinner, after a long leisurely walk in the cold night, during which they interacted with a few other girls from their batch, the roommates were back in their room. Saloni looked at her watch. It was almost midnight. She picked up her face wash kit and went to the washroom. When she returned, she freaked out. It's damn cold. She complained about the cold water as soon as she came back to the room. She was shivering and quickly pulled out her towel and wiped her face and hands. Ha ha. Welcome back to Delhi from a warm Australia. Rupali laughed. Everything in the room, too, was cold. Saloni thought about getting a room heater the very next day and, while saying so, she jumped into Rupali's bed and slipped inside her blanket. She placed her cold hands over Rupali's relatively warm ones. Ouch! Rupali screamed. Maza aaya. Saloni laughed, asking if Rupali had enjoyed her cold touch. She didn't wait for Rupali to react and asked, So tell me, what's going on? What do you mean what's going on? Rupali responded. What's the reason for this beautiful glow on your face, sweetheart? She asked. For a moment Rupali became very conscious, even though she had already planned to tell everything to Saloni. You are the reason. You have come back now, nah. Rupali reasoned. Inside their blanket Saloni immediately tapped Rupali's hand and said, Give this bullshit to someone else, okay? Saloni smiled with confidence. She had guessed it. Something was definitely going on. What? Rupali attempted a weak defense. Achcha. With whom were you exchanging SMSs while I was talking to my basketball team friends? Outside the mess. Han. Now tell me, what's going on? Oh, come on. I was talking to my family, Rupali lied. Saloni could make that out as Rupali avoided looking into her eyes. Really? Then let me check your cell. Saying that, Saloni stretched her arm over Rupali's body to reach out for her phone on the table. No. Please. No. Rupali shouted and jumped at once to secure her phone. There. She had said it all without saying anything. With no iota of doubt in her mind, Saloni laughed slowly. Hey hey. Bete. Sab samajh aa raha hai mujhe hey hey. She took her time to make use of the opportunity to see her roommate embarrassed at being caught red-handed. And Rupali, who all this while had been waiting for the perfect opportunity to share what had happened in her life, never got a chance to do it the right way. She was all prepared to tell her roommate. But the way Saloni bluntly put things together and confronted Rupali, it made her change her mind. Unlike Saloni's nth crush, this was Rupali's first. And it was special. And she wanted to reveal it in the right way. But even before she could speak her heart, her roommate had guessed it and ridiculed her. Even though it was in a playful manner, it annoyed her. When Rupali tried to speak again, she looked at Saloni, who mischievously kept raising her eyebrows, waiting for her to speak up. Her hesitation had stopped her from speaking. Saloni began grinning. Come on. Tell me what all happened with you in my absence. I can smell love, she said, winking. Rupali blushed. Okay, she said. Suddenly, Saloni jumped out of the bed, switched off the lights, jumped back in, grabbed a pillow to place between her legs and said, Yes. Now tell me, quickly.